Hello. Do you want to leave a legacy for future generations? Do you want to save taxes year after year, generations after generations? Do you want to know how people save taxes? I'm so glad you're going to stop by and watch this. I'm practicing a speech that I'm going to be giving in a few weeks. So, this is why I'm practicing here. So, imagine saving four, five, six figures in federal taxes and state taxes year after year, generation after generation. You can use this money to pay off your mortgage, to buy a new car, to take your family on a vacation, to give to a charity, or save for retirement. It's your money to do with what you want. Imagine all lawsuits become frivolous and go away. Think of all the worry and that you will go away, all the time, all the money that you'll no longer have to worry about that. And imagine no one knows what you own, how much you own, where you own it, or what you do with it. This is what the Spendthrift Trust does for you. Welcome. My name is Sally Gimmon, and this is Save Taxes Legally with the Spendthrift Trust. I know what you're thinking. You're like, I've never heard of this. So few people have heard of this. It actually started in I should have this number memorized. It actually started in 1534 when King Henry VIII started the Church of England. Yes, that famous king who chopped off his wives' heads started the Church of England so he could divorce them. It's contract law. It came to the colonies while we were still part of England, and the law firm I work on behalf of inherited a trust that turned 350 years old last year. They've had this trust for 3.5 centuries. Our current tax code here in the United States went into effect February of 1913. It was only supposed to be around for a few years. Then we got into World War I, and now it's 110 years later. The super rich families back in 1913, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Carnegies, made sure this was in the IRS tax code so they could continue to save money. Well, if they can save money, we should be able to save money too. Now, I believe that every business owner, U.S. business owner, U.S. 1099 income earner, and U.S. investor needs to know this information. They can decide if this is appropriate for them, but they should at least know about the information. This is not taught in school. I went to undergraduate school. I got my master's degree. I had to research this all on my own when I started both my business and beneficial spendthrift trusts. I believe since I found a solution for short-term capital gains, it is my duty to teach this to as many other people as possible. I ran a mastermind in my real estate group for 18 months until I had a falling out with somebody and moved. And I believe that the playing field must be equal for all businesses. You know, why does Amazon get to have, they didn't go into Long Island because they weren't going to give them free land. I don't get free land. You don't get free land. All businesses should be equal. Now, the Spendthrift Trust is going to save you in 4 very important ways. Please write this down. Number 1, the Spendthrift Trust is going to save you taxes, state and federal taxes, year after year, generation after generation. Number 2, it's going to keep your information 100% private. Unfortunately, your LLC, S Corp, or C Corp cannot do that. That's statutory law or state law. And I can go online to the Secretary of State or the Corporation Commission website of your state and research any LLC. There's a reason why 40% of all LLCs get sued every year. Number 3, talking about lawsuits. You get everything into the trust. It's a titanium vault, and nobody knows what you have. They can't put judgments against it. They can sue me, the individual, but I'm worth nothing. You can't get money from a stone. That's what makes it so beautiful. And then number 4, with the Benson Financial Spendthrift Trust, what I sell, you will not have to do the paperwork for the 2024 Corporate Transparency Act from the Treasury Department. Now, please, if you don't get the trust, do this paperwork, because the fines for not doing the paperwork could be either $10,000 and or 2 years in jail. I don't want you to go to jail over silly paperwork. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why doesn't my financial advisor or my CPA know this? That's a great question. Here in the United States, there are over 1 million attorneys in the United States. Only 4% are trust attorneys. Right now, 97% of all trusts sold every year are exactly what my mom and dad had, what Susie Orman talks about on television, the family trust or the living trust. The family trust or the living trust avoids probate. That's a good thing, but that's all it does, and then it dissolves. This is what the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Carnegies, and US presidents have. This is going to save you taxes, keep your information private, you'll pay no judgments if you get sued, and you won't have to do the Corporate Transparency Act. There is a textbook that when people are in law school, trust attorneys study this textbook. It's called Scott and Asher on Trust, 5th edition. There's an entire chapter dedicated to the Spendthrift Trust. This is what trust attorneys study. I'm not making fun of CPAs. I'm dyslexic. I transpose numbers. CPAs only work in the 300, 400 tax code of the IRS tax code and know how to usually file 1040 tax returns. Paul Benson was a Harvard law professor. He knew what he was doing when he wrote the 5 different trusts. They've never been audited. And he knew the tax code quite well. They're so confident in having this trust that they give you a certification saying if the IRS ever questions you, the law firm will defend you free of charge. It's so easy to do. In 76 years of history, only one trust has ever been examined by a senior IRS agent. Now, like I said, this comes from England way back when King Henry VIII started the Church of England. It's contract law. Worst case scenario, the only way tax code 643B can be changed is if Congress changes the tax code. If they change the tax code, it means I won't be able to sell any new trusts. But my business trust, my beneficial trust, and if you start a trust before they change the tax code, it's contract law and they can't break it. This has been in front of the United States Supreme Court on 2 separate occasions, and both times the Supreme Court has honored the Spendthrift Trust. It's as legal can be. This is why I'm trying to teach this to as many people as possible. Now, let me go over the full name of the trust so you have it. There are 5 very important elements to it: irrevocable, complex, discretionary, non-grantor, spendthrift trust. All 5 elements must be put together to make this work. Irrevocable, it goes from generation to generation. The Rockefellers Trust is called The Office. It's 7 generations old, and it has almost 400 people under the same EIN or employee identification number, the tax ID number they use to file everything. That's irrevocable. Complex. This trust can hold money from day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year, decade to decade, century to century. Again, going back to the family trust or the living trust, when the last person passes away, that trust dissolves and all money must be separated to all the beneficiaries. Discretionary. Whoever is the trustee or trustees can make the rules for all the beneficiaries. There's no contesting the will or doing anything else. I have 7 nieces and nephews. If I decide I'm going to leave 90% to one nephew and then divide the rest of it between the rest of my nieces and nephews, they can't complain. I'm dead. They can't be mad at Aunt Sally anymore. So irrevocable, complex, discretionary, non-grantor. Now, when you start the trust, you are going to have someone who is not a beneficiary sign up to be the grantor or the settler for the trust, and they will be the trustee for 5 short minutes, and then they'll sign themselves away. This makes the trust completely private. This is not a speed bump. You will need their social security number. Either myself or somebody at the law firm can do this for you free of charge. And again, it's not a speed bump. I've done this for many of my clients. And then finally, the spendthrift. As I told you, it has gone in front of the United States Supreme Court on 2 separate occasions, and both times the Supreme Court has favored it. You can't get much more legal with this. Now, the law firm has changed its name, just to let you know. Paul Benson's grandson is now the lead counsel, and his great-grandson is a trust attorney in the law firm. So it's changed its name, but they still have the copyright on Paul Benson's Spendthrift Trust. The 5 trusts he wrote. The first one is the business trust for U.S. business owners, U.S. 1099 income earners, where you will save at least 90% on your federal income taxes yearly, and in 43 states no longer pay state income taxes. If you go out to my new class at www.sallygimmon.com, I have a chart that shows how much you would save in every single state, making $80,000 a year if you file single. There are 4 ways to file: single, head of household, married jointly, married separately. Single is the most expensive way of filing. I'm single. That's why I have that chart out there. The second trust he did, the beneficial trust, is for all U.S. investors. If you have the beneficial trust, you will save the following 5 taxes. You will no longer pay capital gains, short-term or long-term, on any profits. You will no longer pay interest income taxes if you're in a mutual fund, a passive investor, doing subject to real estate. I personally have notes. Or maybe you're doing the BRRRR strategy, creative financing, or seller financing. You will no longer pay dividend income taxes if you're involved in the stock market, a day trader, an options trader, a commodities trader, futures trader, or binary options trader. You will no longer pay rental income taxes. Now, yes, you can take depreciation. Yes, you can do cost averaging. But please remember, with the trust, you are going to keep your information private, and all lawsuits become frivolous. So if the renter's dog gets out and bites somebody, they can't come after you as being the landowner. It could save you thousands of dollars. And finally, the 5th tax you'll save is royalty income taxes. So if you are an actor, an actress, an author, maybe you're a musician, NFT crypto, NFT real estate, NFT artwork, you have patents, you have intellectual property, you'll save all those taxes. The 3rd trust he wrote is the senior trust for anybody who's over 65 and making too much money. If you make more than $91,000, you will pay IRMA. I forget what that individual. I don't have it in front of me. I'm sorry, but that affects your Part B of Medicare. Part A is your hospital stays. Part B are your doctors and your tests. That's the senior trust. Then there's going to be the charitable trust. If you're a 501c3 company, you could have that trust. And finally, there's going to be the mineral trust. If you have oil wells, if you have shale rights, if you have coal rights, you could be saving thousands of dollars. All these trusts have a copyright on them. In 76 years, they have never been audited. And again, the law firm will give you a certification saying they will defend you no matter what. Now, since we're going to be talking, here for a bit, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. October 2018 was a watershed month for me. I was living in Phoenix. My oldest nephew was getting married in Charlotte, North Carolina. I had vacation time saved up, and I requested the Friday before the wedding and the Monday after the wedding to have off because I had friends and family coming in all over the world. I was denied. I was a Medicare broker, and it was open enrollment, and they said, can't do it. Second thing that happened, my 3-week-old brand new car, cute little sports car with a moonroof. I'm going to work 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm on Indian School Road, second car through the green light. Some bozo runs the red light, T-bones me on my passenger side. Silly Sally had the paperwork for gap insurance sitting on her kitchen table. She hadn't filled it out yet. So all of a sudden, I have a second car loan. And then the third thing that happened, my mom and dad, who lived in Goodyear, Arizona, about 20 miles west of Phoenix, drove from Goodyear to Charlotte for the wedding. I got a phone call the Thursday before the wedding from my dad saying my mom was in the emergency room. They're not sure what was wrong. She got dehydrated. She had septic of the blood. She was on a ventilator for 13 months, in a hospital for 15 months. Thank God she got better, but life really changed. Now, my father stayed in Charlotte with my mom for 9 months. I was driving out to their house every week to do the mail. In the first week of December, there was a letter that was 27 pages thick from Medicare. When I opened it up, it was her first month's statement for going to the emergency room and then to being on a ventilator in a critical care part of the hospital. Big, bold black letters, it said it was $72,000. Now, my parents had Medicare, and my dad was a retired military officer, so they had TRICARE for life. Everything was being paid for. I didn't have to worry about that. I'm standing in my parents' kitchen, and I know I have $184,000 in debt. I've got 2 car loans. I got student loans. I have credit card debt. On my health insurance, I have an $8,000 deductible. Thank God I wasn't injured in that automobile accident. I could have really been put behind the 8 ball at that time. Right there and then, I called my friend Glenn on my cell phone and said, Glenn, I need to change my life. He's like, Sally, next Saturday, we're having a Christmas potluck dinner. Bring a $5 gift and some food and meet my fellow real estate investors. I don't know about y'all, but going to a party where you don't know anyone, a little bit scary. Well, I did, and it was one of the best decisions of my life. In 2019, I was still working full-time as a Medicare broker, and I wholesaled 7 properties nationwide. Woohoo! I paid off $184,000 in debt, and I was a rock star in my real estate group. In April of 2000, my CPA called me and asked for an appointment. I set it for 4:30 in Scottsdale, drove out, parked my car, went up to see him, and he says, Sally, do you realize you owe $79,000 in short-term capital gains? I'm like, what? I have $50,000 saved. What do you mean I need another $29,000? What I didn't realize was my personal tax bracket. There's seven different tax brackets from 10% to 37%, 7 different tax brackets. My personal tax bracket went from 22% up to 24%. All of a sudden, I had to pay so much more in money. I kept it together. Yes, my stomach fell to my feet. I kept it together. I signed paperwork, got my parking validated, went down to the parking garage, and literally cried for 20 minutes going, where the heck am I going to get this money? Then I have to drive from Scottsdale back to Phoenix. Yeah, if you understand where Scottsdale is, it's east of Phoenix. So I'm driving to the sunset, tears just running down my face. Whew, people must have thought I was crazy. Mascara running down my face. I get home, my boyfriend had made dinner, and we just sat across from each other going, oh no. What my solution was to take out a HELOC, pay off my bill to the IRS, but that completely defeats the purpose of being completely debt-free. So I took 5 months to research the Rockefellers Trust. It's called The Office. And in September 2000, I started both my business trust and my beneficial trust. Since then, I was teaching in my real estate group, and then my coach in Thinking Into Results, Bob Proctor and Sandy Gallagher Institute, she tasked me to start my own business. So now I'm teaching U.S. business owners and U.S. 1099 income earners how they too can save taxes, keep their information private, pay no judgments if they get sued, and then not have to worry about the Corporate Transparency Act. One of the clients I helped is a local pizzeria. They have 2 locations. They're making about $15,000 a month, $180,000 a year. And in both federal and North Carolina state income taxes, they're saving over $34,370. Again, they could use this money to pay off their mortgage, to buy a new car, take the family on vacation, give to a charity, or save for retirement. No, but they didn't do this. Miguel and Anne-Marie opened up a 3rd location. In 2025, they're going to open up a 4th location. When they retire in 3036, they're going to leave 2 pizzerias to one child, 2 pizzerias to another child. They're all in the Spendthrift Trust, so there'll be no inheritance tax. And then the children, the adult children, will also save 1099 income. It's an amazing thing. Now, another person I helped with, a used cars salesman who saw me on TikTok. He calls me up and says, you say you can help me save money. His wife is working full as a W-2, and his used cars dealership, he's making about $250,000 a year. We are going to save him over $63,289 a year. And his question was, how much is that per month? I said, it's going to be $5,274. He's like, send me the contract. I want to start saving money. I am helping truck drivers. I'm helping people who, a woman who has her own a hair salon school and her salon. I'm helping digital marketers. I'm helping Amazon store owners. I'm helping anyone who's making at least $80,000 should be looking at this Business Spendthrift Trust. If you're in South Dakota, Nevada, Texas, or Florida, you don't pay state income taxes. So you'll save about $11,787 a year with the Spendthrift Trust. If you're in North Carolina, I'm just checking right now where I'm located. In North Carolina, you're going to save $14,987 a year with the Business Spendthrift Trust. Beneficial Trust. My first property that I put in the Beneficial Trust was a bank-owned reverse mortgage property that I bought for $20,000. It had to go to auction and was going to go to auction for $50,000. I bought this in July of 2000, and I knew that spread, that $30,000 spread, I would owe $7,180 on that at 24% tax rate. It's the middle of COVID. I didn't go to auction until August 21st of 2021. So I was able to do 2 simple bill of sales, one bill of sale from my LLC to me for the property in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Second bill of sale from me to the trust. I drove to the bank. I got him notarized. I had $10 in my wallet, handed it to the banker. He made a note in his notary book and then handed it back to me. I'm living in Phoenix. I scan it and send it to the attorney in Raleigh. Next day, the attorney in Raleigh says, I need the first page of your trust. I did that. When it finally went to auction on August 28th of 2021, it started at $50,000. It went up to over $64,390. Woohoo! Sally made a bunch of money without lifting a hammer. More importantly, I saved $10,358 on that first property in the trust, and I've never looked back. I helped one of my somebody I know from a mastermind. His father left him his stock portfolio, kind of a fun stock portfolio, 100 shares of the top 100 dividend-paying companies. For 3 months, he was sending me postcards from all over the world. He went to Banff to ski. He was on a cruise for 2 weeks. I mean, he was living the life. Then he got his tax bill. We're saving him every quarter over $17,000 every quarter, and then he's now buying more shares per each one of the stocks. Easy peasy. He loves it. I have another friend. He's in my national real estate group. We sat next to each other at our national meeting. He was madder than a wet hen because he's up in Chicago, has 100 doors. One of the renter's dogs got out and bit the mailman. The mailman hired an attorney, and he found 4 of the LLCs. There are 100 houses. He only found 4 of them. That mailman got paid $400,000. Patrick was mad. I told him about the trust. He became a client. And then last summer, I have never seen his RV, but knowing Patrick's tastes, it's a very expensive $250,000 RV. I can almost guarantee you that. He couldn't slow down for traffic. He hit the car in front of him that pushed it into the car in front of her. No one's injured, thank God. But, everyone jumped out to exchange information. The insurance card showed the trust's name on it because it's in the trust. Patrick's Illinois license has Patrick's name on it. 6 weeks after the accident, he gets a lawsuit for $500,000 for pain and suffering. Again, she wasn't injured, but this is, and the Spendthrift Trust paid to fix her car. But this is what she wanted. She wanted $500,000. Patrick calls me, and I said, just send the first page of the trust to the attorney and see what happens. The lawsuit went away. He's like, Sally, you're saving me thousands of dollars in rental income taxes, and now $500,000 in trying to be sued. My goal is to help as many U.S. business owners, U.S. 1099 income earners, and U.S. investors save as much money as they can in taxes. The first page of the IRS tax code says it's up to each individual to save as much money as they can. Again, there's more information out at www.sallygimmon.com. My free class is there, 3 articles from Forbes magazine, that chart that shows how much you would save if you're making $80,000 in every single state, and then also case law, so you can have that. I'm also offering to do a free 30-minute tax breakthrough session with me. I take you out to NerdWallet. I show you how much you'll be saving. And again, it's your decision if you want to get start on the trust. The sooner you start, the more money you will save. Now, some of the things that do not go into the trust, just so you know, I cannot help a W-2 income earner. I cannot help 401ks and Roth IRAs. Keep the Roth IRA for as long as you can. I work with several people to help you do an annuity so you can move the money from your traditional 401k into the annuity. And if we set it up correctly, then you can take that annuity and start investing in real estate and really grow it big time. That all tax free. I cannot help pensions. That's between you and the company. But again, if you want to set up a 30-minute tax breakthrough session with me, it's going to be in the notes because I want all U.S. business owners, U.S. 1099 income earners, and U.S. investors know how they too can save taxes legally. Thank you for watching this. I hope you learned something new. Have a wonderful weekend. Take care.